All right, any pains or injuries before we start? Everyone good? Okay. Good day, everyone. This is Stephen Chang coming to you live from 333 Grand in downtown Jersey City, New Jersey. Please visit my website, simhayoga.com, for the hybrid schedule, which is in person here at 333 Grand, as well as through Zoom. You can register for class through ubindi.com. And if you're watching this on YouTube, classes are $10, and you can pay through Venmo or PayPal, which is on the bottom of the video. Of course, all of this can be found through my website as well, simhayoga.com. Today's class is open flow. It is a level 1, level 2. And if you're working with any kind of special conditions or limitations, make sure that you do modify or skip poses altogether, always being mindful that you're making some good choices about your movement. All right, let's sit up tall. If you need to elevate, sit up on a block or a blanket. Let the palms face up. Fingers come together, mudra, thumb and index fingers touching. Grounding evenly through your seat, elongating through the spine. And let your inhales even out with your exhales. Ujjayi breath whenever you're ready. With a slight restriction to the back of the throat, create the ha sound as you inhale and exhale. Using the sound of the breath to help you draw your senses inwards. Three ohms together. Inhale. Keeping the eyes closed, hands together in prayer or from the heart, pressing your thumbs into your heart, heart back into the thumbs, lifting the heart up toward the sky, setting your intention for your yoga practice, devoting your practice to someone or something or to yourself, your supreme self that lives within your heart. Chanting the mantra for purification, purifying the space in which you practice yoga. Call and response. Om Pavitraha, Om Pavitraha, Pavitrawa, Pavitrawa, Sarva Vushtan, Gato Piwa, Yaha Smarit, Pundrikaksham, Sapahya, Bihyandraha, Suchihi. Beginning to open the eyes and let the palms face up. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, right ear to the right shoulder, right hand to the left side. As you elongate through the left side of the neck, continue to ground firmly through your left feet. And then draw the chin toward the right shoulder. Continue to pull gently to the back of the head. Release back to center. Drop the right hand. Left ear to the left shoulder. Left hand to the right side. And then chin toward the left shoulder. Release back to center. Drop the left hand. Chin toward the chest. Big circles with the head in one direction. Ear to one side. Roll it back, opposite side, roll the center. A few more rounds in that same direction. And chin back to center and pause. And then taking the opposite direction. And one more giant circle, chin back toward the chest. And then lifting the chin parallel to the floor, neutral spine. Extend the legs forward, separating your feet. Hands supporting to either side and turning your toes toward each other. And then roll them out. Draw in, roll out, draw in, outer rotation, circling. Back to center, switch them around, inner rotations. And back to center again. Cross your shins, take the opposite shin on top, non-dominant crossing of the legs. Inhale, taking the arms up high to extend. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, twist to your left. Back to center again. Side bends, right hand down, left arm overhead. Take it back up, other side. Back to center again. Extend the legs forward, forward fold. Reaching for your feet, ankles, or your shins, whatever you can hold on to. And then making sure that you are neutral in your spine as you hinge at the hips to take it forward in the forward fold. Draw back up again, soles of feet together, knees apart. And let's butterfly your knees just a little bit. All right, come back to stillness. Take the hands back behind you. Outwardly, turn your fingertips. And then supporting with the fingers, lift the heart center up. Draw the shoulders toward each other, the shoulder blades toward each other. Lift through your sternum, your heart center up, and gently looking up. So you're arching your mid and upper back. So bringing openness through the chest, your collarbones, opening up the throat, going into a mild back bend. And come back to neutral. Keep your left hand on the floor. Press your right hand against your inner right thigh. Push your right thigh away for more opening into the right hip joint, right inner thigh. Release, switch, right hand to the floor. Press your left hand to the inner left thigh and pressing your left thigh away to elongate and open up the inner left thigh and bring openness to the hip joint. Release, step the feet to the floor, by hips with mats with distance, pivot to your heels, and then windshield wiper your knees side to side. Right, so it's important to keep your feet pretty wide, about mat's width, so that you have plenty of space to windshield wiper. Right, when your feet are together and you're doing this, it gets kind of clumsy, right? So you have to keep it mat's width. All right, come back to center, step the feet to the floor, supporting with your hands, and lift the hips up for your tabletop. Now you can start with the gaze looking forward and lift up high with your hips. Once you have a nice stable position, if your neck is strong and healthy, you can drop the head back. Right, if that is not comfortable for your neck, keep the gaze looking forward instead. Start to release the seat back down. Take the left heel slightly forward. Take right ankle on top of the left knee. Flex your right foot. Draw the left foot in. Sit up tall. And as you take the chest toward the right shin, you're going into a hip opening. Make sure that the right foot is flexed. Right, so the legs are in a figure 4 position, right? And so you have to engage the muscles of the ankles and the knee of the right leg to keep the joint safe. All right, drop the knees over to the left side. See the spinal twist. Right hand is behind you, left arm is up and twisting to the right. So you're perfectly fine to be slightly angled to the left side. Release, come back to center, keep the legs as they are, counter twist to your left. Take it back to center, lift the knees back up, extend the left leg forward, Shavasana, sole of the right foot to the inner left leg. Left hand to the floor, right arm is up, inhale, lengthen, exhale, reach forward for your foot, ankles or your shins, whatever you can hold on to. Re-lengthen your spine on the inhale, exhale. keeping that neutral spine, hinge at the hips, draw forward. So this is a lower back stretch as well as hamstrings, right? And then if you don't need your left hand for support to the floor, you can grab the other side of your left foot. So pulling evenly with both hands if you can. If you tend to tip over to one side and you lose your balance, then keep your left hand on the floor for support. Begin to release. Inhale, come back up. Keep the legs as they are and twist to the right. A modified version of side plank. Plant the right palm to the floor. Step the left foot down. Pivot to your right shin and reach your left arm overhead and extend. So reaching toward the back of the room. All right, and then let's thread the needle. Left arm threads underneath your right. Now, you don't have to take the left shoulder all the way down to the floor. You can just bend your right elbow and lower your upper torso just a little bit. The top of the left hand can stay on the floor for support. And so now you're getting a nice extension through the outer left arm, left shoulder, across your shoulder blades on the left side. You might also feel a nice rotation, a stretch to your lower back as well. All right, inhale, come back up. Re-extend the left arm to the back of the room. And then square back to center, take the feet down, take the gaze looking forward, and then draw the right heel back behind you. Get to a 90-degree angle if you can. Now, if your hips are tight and 90 degrees is not available, you can go less than 90. Or if you have a block and you want to sit on a block, that is quite nice to modify. Left hand to the floor, right arm up, and then reaching forward once again. If you can, grab the outside of the left foot with your right hand. Re-lengthen your spine. Again, neutral spine. Exhale, hinge at the hips, take it forward. Now be mindful as you draw forward, getting into the lower back stretch and the left hamstring stretch, that you also keep pressure to the inner right thigh, pressing down, right? So sometimes you tend to fall over to the left side and the right inner thigh starts to lift. Right, so try to keep it pressing down instead. Inhale, release. Make your way back up. Keep the legs as they are. Twist to the right. Stay twisting. Side bend over your left leg. Lean the torso forward. Right arm overhead and extend. Continue to stack your shoulders one over the other. So the right side on top of the left. You can also use your left arm, pressing to the inner left leg to give you resistance, to stack more actively. Now, if you can grab the left foot with your right hand to take the bind there. All right, for those of you with even more flexibility, you want to go deeper, you can come out of the pose, lift the feet, left hand to grab the right foot underneath, and then come back into your bind. So this becomes infinity pose, the fully bound infinity. So left hand grabbing the right ankle, right hand grabbing the left big toe. And start to release. Make your way back up. Keep the legs as they are. And then counter twist to your left. Square back to center. Swing the right leg around. Half seated spinal twist. Right foot to the outside of the left leg. Right hand is behind you. Left arm is up. Inhale. Exhale. Twist to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale. Twist to your left. Now this time, another variation of the modified side plank. So you're going to plant your left palm down, roll to the outside of the left foot, step the right foot down, and lift. Reach your right arm overhead. So you can always adjust your right footing so you can plant your foot down for better support. Extend the right arm up and to the back of the room. And start to release. Stay on the outer left leg, forward folding dragonfly. Walk your right foot in a little bit closer. Keep your left hand on the floor. Right arm up, inhale. Exhale, reach forward, wrap the right arm around the shin and fold. And start to release. Make your way back up. Square back to center. Extend both legs forward. Let's take the feet a little bit wider this time. Let's take a mat twist. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Grabbing the inner edges of your feet or your inner thighs. Inhale, re-lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Release, come back up. Bend the knees, step the feet to the floor. Again, windshield wiper your knees. So feet are about hips, mat width. Pivot to your heels, and then windshield wiper. All right, come back to center. Inverted plank, legs forward, fully extended. Hands back behind you, pointing forward. Lift. Now, again, you can keep the gaze looking forward, right? Or if your neck is strong and healthy, you can drop the head back. You can go ahead and do that. Release. Take the seat back down. Bend your right knee, left ankle on top of the right knee. Draw the right heel in. Make sure you flex your left foot, sitting up tall. So you're trying to press into your hands to draw the heart center toward the left shin. And then drop the knees over to the right side, seated spinal twist. Left hand is behind you. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, twist to the left. So again, your torso might be angled off to the right side a little bit, and you're not centered straight forward. That is perfectly fine. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, counter twist to the right. Back to center. Lift the shins, the legs back up. Extend the right leg forward. Janu Shavasana. Sole of the left foot to inner right leg. Right hand to the floor. Left arm is up. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, reaching forward, grabbing the foot, ankles or your shins. Re-lengthen your spine, always keeping a neutral spine as you hinge at the hips to draw forward. Now, once you come to a forward fold, if you're able to free up your right hand to grab the outside of the right foot, go ahead and take it. If you tend to lose your balance and you need the right hand on the floor for support, keep it there. Start to release. Take it back up. Twist to your left. Modified side plank. Left hand stays on the floor. Step the right foot down. Pivot to your left shin. Reach your right arm up and to the back of the room and extend. Nice right side stretch. Hip opener. Threading the needle. Thread the right arm underneath the left, right? So you don't have to come all the way down. So you're just moving partially, or if you have the mobility, fully, right? So you're getting the the stretch to your outer right arm, right shoulder, across the shoulder blade, also to your lower back. It's a contralateral twist. All right, start to release. Come back up for the side extension. Reach to the back of the room. And take the feet back down, square back to center. And this time, draw the left heel back behind you. Try to get the legs to about 90 degrees if you can. Less than 90 if your hips are tight. Or elevate and sit up on the block. And that elevation is much easier for your hips. Right hand to the floor. Left arm is up. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale. Hinge at the hips to draw forward, grabbing the outside of the left foot, of the right foot. Re-lengthen and deepen the fold. And so it's starting out today with mindful stretching, allowing the muscles to get a little bit longer, to release a little bit. And sometimes starting a little bit slow at the beginning versus a little faster at the beginning could be a very different experience. Inhale, take it back up. Exhale, twist to your left. Stay twisting, side bend. Lean the torso forward over your right leg. Left arm reaching overhead to the front of the room. Now keep the shoulders stacking, right? So you can press your right arm to the inner right leg for resistance so that you can stack the left shoulder more actively over your right. Now you can just reach to the front of the room or grab the right foot with your left hand for the bind. Right? If this is easy and you want to go a little bit deeper for the full infinity, so you want to lift the seat, thread the right arm underneath your seat to grab the left ankle, and then side bend again, and then binding. So this is infinity pose. And begin to release. Make your way back up. Keep the legs as they are, and twist to the right. Square back. Seated spinal twist, half variation. Swing the left leg around. Step the left foot to outside the right leg. Left hand behind you. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, twist to your left. Inhale back to center. Keep the legs. Exhale, counter twist to the right. All right, a modified version of side plank. Roll to the outside of the right foot. Step the left foot in a little bit. Ground your right palm to the floor. Now, you can always adjust your left foot, right? Forward, sideways, etc., so that you can get yourself a nice stable position. Reach your left arm up and overhead, extending through your left side. Keep the hips lifting. Keep the right arm strong. Take the seat back down. On the outside of the right leg, forward folding dragonfly. Draw the left heel in. So you want the foot a little higher up the right leg. Plant the right palm to the floor. Inhale, left arm up. Reach over to the right side. Wrap the left arm around the shin, and then forward folding. So you don't have to take the forehead all the way down if you don't have the mobility, but if you do, fantastic. Start to release, make your way back up. Square back to center. Extend both legs forward. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Let's go for a deep forward fold this time. Grabbing the outer feet, your ankles or your shins. Re-lengthen your spine. Keep that neutral spine. Exhale. A little bit at a time, incrementally. Draw the torso forward, starting from the belly, making contact to the top of the thighs, and then slowly toward the ribs, and maybe further and further until perhaps the nose in toward the knees. It all depends on your mobility, how much flexibility you have in the forward fold. And begin to release. Draw the heels in, yogic squat. So you can go a little bit wider, come up, and then hands together in prayer. So you want to step the feet about max width distance and turning the toes out. Try to keep the heels down when you take your yogic squat. And then hands together in prayer. Press your elbows to your inner knees back into your elbows. And with that resistance, maybe you can draw the seat toward the heels more actively, and then pressing the hands together, lift the chest, and lean back. So it's a very active yogic squat. Left hand to the floor, press your left arm to the inner left leg, right arm up and extend. Half bind, right hand behind you, let the front of the right shoulder draw up and back. You may stay here for the half bind if you have the extension and the flexibility for the full bind. Wrap the left arm around the left shin and take the bind behind you. You may stay in the half bind or the full bind for the standing position of this pose. Take the gaze to the floor, start to lift the seat a little bit, and then walk your right foot in towards center and point the toes forward. Then shift to your left tiptoes, shift to your right foot, and then lift up. So this is standing Marichyasana. You are welcome to stay here with the half bind or the full bind. You can bow forward halfway. If you have the balance, you can bow forward all the way. Start to finish up. Make your way back up. Tree pose, releasing the bind, sole of the left foot to inner right leg. Hands together in prayer. Take the arms up and out. Shiva Nataraj, dancing Shiva. Reach your left hand forward. Draw the left heel back and grabbing the inside of the foot, inner thighs together, right arm forward. Lean forward as you kick back. And then through a very controlled warrior 3, step it back to warrior 1. On the inhale, lengthen front leg, reach up higher. On the exhale, bend the front knee, arms alongside 3 times. Inhale, lengthen, reach up. Bend the front knee, arms alongside. Inhale, lengthen, reach up. Keep the arms up. Bend the front knee, warrior 1. Open it up, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, side angle. You can modify elbow to top of the knee or right hand to the floor, left arm reaching up. Extended side angle, left palm facing down and reaching forward. Half bind, left arm up and behind you. Stack your shoulders. You may stay here or take the full bind. Wrap the right arm underneath your right leg, catching the other hand behind you. Then lift the upper torso, lean it back and stack your shoulders. So looking for one straight line eventually. Release. Inhale, come up. Reverse warrior. Exhale, hands to the floor. Right foot stepping back, plank. Inhale, one breath. Exhale, lower all the way down to the belly. 3 progressive cobras, hands alongside the rib cage. Inhale, lift up, baby cobra. Exhale, lower almost all the way down. Inhale, lift up a little bit higher. Exhale, lower almost all the way down. Inhale, lift up even higher. Full extension of your arms if you have it for Cobra, Fujingasana. And holding it here. So notice that when you're taking a Cobra, you're pressing your hands down and you're lifting the crown of the head up, right? So you also want to avoid shrugging of the shoulders. So you want to press your hands down, lift the crown of the head up, and creating space between the ears and your shoulders by lengthening the neck. So try not to collapse and shrug, but instead press into your hands, lift, and draw the shoulders down. So you want length. All right, let's start to break. Bending at the elbows, slowly lower down, and child's pose. Feet toward the heels, and fold. Down dog. Walk your feet forward towards your hands, yogic squat. So separate your feet about mat width, turning the toes out. Try to keep the heels down. Now, if you cannot keep the heels down and you have to be on your tiptoes, then keep with your hands supporting. For those of you at home who have maybe an extra towel or a blanket, you can always roll it up to a roll and then put the roll underneath your heels so you can step on the roll with your heels, and that will give you a nice way to stabilize through your heels. Right? And then progressively you can get that thinner and thinner so that you can eventually get the heels to the floor. So hands together in prayer. Press your elbows into your inner knees back into your elbows. Use that resistance to draw the seat down and then lift the chest and lean back. So a very active yogic squat. Extend the right arm out. Press your right arm to inner right leg, left arm up. Half bind, left hand behind you, and let the front of the left shoulder draw up and back. All right, so if your shoulders are tight, if you don't have the extension, you can stay here in the half bind. The standing poses all work the same. All right, if you're taking the full bind, wrap the right arm around the right shin and take the full bind behind you, and then stack, look past your left shoulder. Standing marichi. So you can keep the full bind or you can take the half bind. So this time I'll demonstrate with the half bind. So the right arm is out. Gaze is to your floor, lift the seat slightly. Walk your left foot in towards center, pointing your left toes forward. Then lift the right heel, shift your left foot, and gently start to pick up the right foot into a standing balance. All right, so you can keep the half bind with the right arm extending out, or if you have the full bind, you can transition through all of that with a full bind. All right, so whether you have the half bind or full bind, if you want to take it a little bit further, you can fold forward halfway. Or you can fold forward all the way. When you're ready, make your way back up to standing. And then releasing the binds for tree. Sole of the right foot in the left leg, maintaining your balance, arms up and out. Stay on that left leg. Shiva Nataraj, dancing Shiva. Draw the right knee forward, release your right foot, right hand forward. Then swing the right arm back behind you to grab the inside of the foot. Make sure you have the correct rotation of the right arm. Left arm is forward. As you lean forward, kick back for Shiva Nataraj, dancing Shiva. Through a steady warrior 3, from Shiva Nataraj, warrior 3 into warrior 1. Ground the back heel down, arms up high. On the inhale, lengthen front leg, reach up higher. On the exhale, bend the front knee, arms alongside. Inhale, lengthen, reach up. Bend the front knee, arms alongside. Inhale, lengthen, reach up. Keep the arms reaching. Bend the front knee, warrior 1. Open it up, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. Again, modifying elbow to knee if it's difficult to touch down, or hand to the floor if you have the full extension, right arm up. Extended side angle, right arm reaching forward, palm facing down. Half bind, right arm up and behind you, stack your shoulders. All right, so for those of us with tight shoulders or you're not quite there with the extension, that is perfectly fine. Stay in the half bind. If you're going for the full bind, thread the left arm underneath to catch the other hand behind you. Then you want to lift the upper torso. Lean the upper torso back and stack your shoulders looking up. So eventually one straight line from the crown of the head through the right heel. Release your binds. Inhale, come up. Reverse warrior. And then hands to the floor, left foot, stepping back plank. Inhale one breath, exhale all the way down to the belly. Variation 2 on the progressive cobras. Hands alongside the rib cage. Inhale, lift up, baby cobra, and stay there. Press into your hands. Lift up a little bit higher. Press into your hands. Lift up even higher and stay here. Fujingasana Cobra. So the energy of the pubic bone reaching down. But pressing your hands down, reaching the crown of the head up, creating space between the ears and the shoulders by letting the shoulders drop down as you lengthen to the sides of the neck. And begin to release by bending at the elbows all the way down. And then gently going back to child's pose, stretching your lower back. So going from a back bend into a forward bend. Headstand or headstand preparation. So keeping your forearms down about shoulders width so you can grab opposite elbows. And that helps you to measure shoulders width. Then take the hands into a fist. You can interlace your hands or you can grab one hand over your other fist. Tuck the toes under. Crown of the head to the floor, pressing the back of the head to your fist. Tuck the toes under, lift the knees, and walk your feet in. Now, those of you who have a classic headstand, go ahead and take it. Those of you who don't, this is all you're doing. This is preparation. You're learning to bring pressure to the crown of the head and to your forearms, but also at the same time, starting to strengthen the neck to eventually take the weight of the body in an inverted position. So try not to jump into your headstand, right? So you never want to jump into this headstand with the head on the floor. If you want to do preparation, all you do is keep the head stable to the floor, right? So keep the head stable to the floor. If you want to raise one leg up, that is fine. You don't want to put pressure and jump into it, okay? Unless you're doing a very advanced headstand where you jump from a down dog into a tripod headstand. That's a whole different thing, much more advanced level. Otherwise, all you're doing is walking your feet in. You can stay there or raise one leg, right, one leg up. So I'm taking the right leg up, left foot stays on the floor. So I'm working on asymmetry, learning the building blocks of eventually coming into the headstand. All right, if you have one leg up, switch legs. Take the other foot down and the other leg up. So you're just drawing weight into the crown of the head, pressing into your forearms. And it's assignment, try not to jump into it, but reach, right? So, all right, let's take it all the way down. Let me give you a tutorial on it so you get a visual on how to come into the pose, right? So the preparation is important, right? Preparation are the building blocks to eventually get you to the pose. So you want to build from the ground up, creating strength and flexibility, and then also balance throughout the whole process, right? So the classic headstand, shoulders width with your arms. You can always measure it out this way. You can interlace your hands, or you can grab one hand over the other. Your hands are in a fist because that becomes part of your support structure. Crown of the head to the floor, you want to press the back of the head to the fist and into the inner forearms. Tuck the toes under, lift the knees. And you want to first walk your feet in as close as you can. Notice that if your feet are really far away and you're not very flexible, right, coming into the pose is far harder. So you want to start walking your feet in, getting your hips to eventually stack over your head and your shoulders. So the more vertical line, the easier the balance eventually. Then the next step is maybe you want to shift into your tiptoes. You see how that brings your hips more over your shoulders. So that's another step. Or alternatively, you can raise one leg up and the other leg down. Eventually, what you want is to use the right leg or the leg that's up to reach up and back without jumping into it, which creates too much momentum. You want to use shifting to your tiptoes, counterbalance with the upper leg to shift you eventually in a very controlled manner to come up. So this is the reason why walking your feet in as close as possible is important to take the shift, right? So Legs extended without jumping. You shift to your tiptoes, and through the tiptoes, you just use counterbalance to lift your way up. So that is important for you to get flexibility first, then the extension of oppositional energies, and then through the tiptoe action, shift away into an inversion. So once you get the headstand, it gets easier to take the handstands and the forearm stands. Now, the next time around, we'll try that with the tripod headstand, because in the tripod headstand, it is much easier to do this. All right? So you'll feel the difference when we get to it. All right, let's take it to down dog. Inhale, right heel up. Draw the right knee in toward the nose and round the spine. Inhale, kick it up, open up the hips and bend the right knee. Right knee to the outside of the right arm to touch. Kick it back up. Knee comes into twist, touch your left arm. Inhale, kick it back up. Step the right foot forward, warrior one. Wrap the hands back behind you, interlace. Lift up, gaze upwards. Exhale, bow forward, devotional warrior. Yogi's choice, option to just stay here in devotional warrior, or releasing your arms. Thread the arms, the right shoulder underneath the right knee, arms out to either side for airplane. If you want to take the arm balance of Kundiasana 2, hands to the floor to either side, kick the right leg out to side, chaturanga your arms. Now, if you're not ready to take the back leg off the floor, keep the back foot on the floor, right heel reaching out, or shift forward and the left foot comes off the floor in a balance. All right, when you're ready, let's start to break. Take it back up into reverse warrior. Lengthen out the right leg, triangle. Right hand to top of the shin or to the floor. Stack the shoulders, left arm up. Extended, left palm face down, reach forward. Half binded, left arm up and behind you. Now you can stay here in the half bind, or if you want a full bind in the triangle, you're going to bend your right knee again, thread the right arm underneath to take the bind, and then re-lengthen your right leg for the fully bound triangle. All right, so this is much more demanding on the hamstrings. Make sure that you don't overdo it. Even if you extend the front leg a little bit in the full bind, you're working your way eventually to a full extension. All right, releasing your binds. Come back to the triangle with your left arm reaching up. And let's revolve it. Left hand down. Frame your right leg with your hands. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold in your pyramid. Now, if the back heel needs to get adjusted to reach further back so that you can square off your hips for a more comfortable forward fold, you can make that adjustment. Revolve it. Left hand down. Right arm up to twist. Right palm face down, reach forward, extend it, revolved. Bind it, right arm up and behind you for the half bind. Gaze to your floor for balance, revolved half moon. Bend your right knee, reach your left hand forward about a foot. Tip forward, standing on the right leg, reach your left heel back and stack your shoulders, looking up. So this is your revolved half moon. Binding, bend your left knee, grab the right hand to your left foot, revolve Shavasana. You want to kick the left thigh up toward the sky, kick the left foot away from you to bring tension into your right arm for the bow effect, and using that bow effect to stack your shoulders for a deeper twist. Forward folding dragonfly, gaze to the floor first. As you start to bend your right knee, draw the left knee behind the right leg. Then reposition your right hand to grab the outside of the left foot. You might have to re-extend the left leg. This is a tricky transition. You want to stay floating, all right? So floating dragonfly. So you don't want to sit down. You want your left hand to still be supporting. You want the left leg to be floating in space with the bind of the dragonfly, right hand to your outer left foot. All right, make your way back up. Through your Revolved Chapasana, step the left foot all the way back. Circle it up and around, reverse warrior. Hands to the floor, right foot stepping back, plank. Inhale, one breath. Exhale, lower all the way down to the belly. Reach your fingertips back, reach your toes back. Shalabhasana, locust. Inhale, lift. Lift up even higher on the next inhale. If you have one more in you, lift it even higher. And release, child's pose, feet toward the heels and fold. All right, so if you know what you're doing in tripod headstand, go ahead and start doing it. The rest of us, I'll give you another tutorial so that you understand how to place your body in a supportive position before you start making your way through the preparation. All right, so hands are about shoulders width. You're going to take the crown of the head forward, estimate about 10 inches forward, okay, from the tip of the fingers. When you look back, you should be able to see your hands. Tuck the toes, lift the knees, and walk your feet in. Now, when you take this pose and you walk your feet in, you should also be able to see that your elbows and your wrists line up in a vertical position. So maybe this is good enough. So note that because your forearms are not supporting you in the same way, it is a lot more pressure to the head and to the back of the neck. So if you have some sort of injuries to your cervical spine, you should skip this pose. But if you're strong and healthy, you can start to take the preparation. So again, hands to the floor, shoulders width, crown of the head about 8 inches forward, looking at your hands, should be about shoulders width. Lift the knees, walk your feet in. Once you get to the closest position and you feel stable, your elbows should line up with your wrist. And maybe you just stay there, and that is your preparation. Maybe you start to walk the knees to the back of the arms. So take one knee to the back of the arm, and then shift forward, and maybe the other knee can go to the back of the other arm and taking both feet from the floor. So the tricep, Phoebe, the knee to the back of the arm on the upper part of the arm. So you can pick up that right foot and take that knee to the back of the arm, just like a crow. Higher up, yes, right there. Now, if you feel secure, you can shift to the right side, and maybe the left knee can go to the left arm. If you don't feel secure, then just stay there. Maybe you can shift to the right side, and the left toes get a little bit lighter. Maybe you just pick up the foot ever so slightly, and that's all you do. All right, switch legs. So reset into preparation. Take a break if you need, right? All right, so while you're taking a break, let me show you. So hands set, crown of the head, lift the knees, walk your feet in. First preparation. This is the basic pose. Then maybe start to take one knee to the back of the arm. Maybe this is good enough. If you feel like you can shift forward, maybe pick up the foot. That's good enough. Or if you feel like you can take the other knee to the back of the arm, then you just stay here. Eventually, you press your hands to the floor, activate your core, lift the hips, and come here. And then eventually, maybe here. All right, so you can take one knee at a time, one leg at a time. So I'll give you a few more breaths to check that out again and try. All right, if tripod is difficult for your neck and your head and you feel more comfortable with the classic, you can do the classic instead. All right, so preparation, just stay on the forearms, Bring weight to the crown of the head. Maybe raise one leg up. All right? And then use it. That's right. Good, Yuan. All right, so shifting through tiptoes rather than jumping. So you want to walk the feet in as close as you can so that you can use that extension through the tiptoes to eventually get your hips past your shoulders, and that's when the balance starts to happen. Good. Simon, good. And then Margaret has had like 1,000 headstands already, so I think you're just taking rest now. All right, let's finish up. Make your way back to down dog. Walk it out side to side. All right, so if you know what you're doing, you don't need to take all the preparations, all the tutorials with me. You can just go on, right? Or if you want the finer points and you want to listen, perfectly fine, right? There's always something that we can learn or review, right? All right, back to down dog. Inhale, left heel up, three-legged dog. Exhale, left knee in toward the nose, around. Inhale, kick up, open up the hips, bend the left knee. Left knee outside of the left arm and touch. Kick it back up. Knee comes into twist, touching your right arm. Kick it back up. Stepping your left foot forward, warrior one. Wrap the hands back behind you. Interlace with the other thumb on top. Broaden your shoulders, reach your knuckles back. Lift the gaze upwards into a back bend. Exhale, bow forward, devotional warrior. Crown of the head toward the floor. You're welcome to stay here or releasing your hands. Dig your left shoulder underneath for airplane. Arms out to either side. You may stay there or Kundiyasana too. Hands above shoulders width to the floor. Pivot to your right heel. Right toes, I'm sorry. Kick your left leg out, extending your left leg out, and then chaturanga your arms. You can keep your left leg extended, keeping your right foot on the floor, or tip the weight forward and take the full balance. All right, let's break. Coming out of the pose, inhale, come up. Reverse warrior. Lengthen out the left leg, triangle pose. Left hand to top of the shins if you're less flexible, right arm up. Or left hand to the floor if you have better reach. Extend it, right palm face down, reach forward. Half bind it, right arm up and behind you, stacking shoulders. So again, you are welcome to stay here in the half bound triangle, or if you're working for the full bind. Bend your left knee so that you can thread your left arm underneath to take the full bind. Once you have the full bind, work progressively, mindfully to lengthen out the left leg. If you can fully, it's your bound triangle. If you cannot fully extend, keep a slight bend of the knee, and then progressively in time, working into the hamstring stretch. Gently release, coming back into triangle. Left hand down, right arm up. Then take the right hand to the floor. Frame your left foot with your hands. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, folding over your left leg, coming into pyramid. Now, if the back foot is turned, back toes are turned out really wide, and coming into forward fold is difficult for you, right? You can make the adjustment by turning the toes in, and that can help you to square off your hips a lot more effectively, making this forward fold a lot more accessible. Revolved triangle. Right hand stays down, left arm up to twist. Revolve extended. Left arm reach forward. Half bind. Left arm up and behind you. Stack actively. Draw the front of the left shoulder up and back in space. Take the gaze to the floor, bend your left knee, revolved half moon, right hand forward about a foot. Tip forward to balance on the left leg, reach your right heel back actively, hips are square to the floor, and then stack the left shoulder over your right. So think about the front of the left shoulder lifting up toward the sky and back behind you. So a twist is happening here. That's right. And then binding, left hand to right foot, revolve Shavasana. So once you have the bind, you want to lift and kick back. So once you kick back and you have the pose, basically, you want to lift the right side even further away from the floor, and you want to kick the foot even further back. And that will give you tension into your left arm. The tension of that bow will give you more ability to stack your shoulders, going deeper into the twist and the stretch. Forward folding dragonfly. So you have to make the adjustment, right? So slight bending of the left knee. Switch the hand positioning to the outside of the right foot. Extend the right leg out to create space. Maybe adjusting your right arm. And then coming down into a forward folding dragonfly. So you're still hovering the right leg away from the floor. All right. Making your way back up into Revolved Shavasana first. And then release your right foot, step it all the way back. Inhale, come up, reverse warrior. Exhale, hands to the floor, left foot, stepping back plank. Inhale, one breath, exhale, lower all the way down to the belly. Bend at the knees, grab the feet. Dhanurasana, bow pose. On the inhale, kick your feet up, lift your thighs, lift the upper back, lift your head. If you have more, kick back, lift up even higher. You have one more in you, even higher. And release all the way down. Child's pose. Seat toward the heels and fold. Down dog. Inhale, left heel up. Crescent Moon. Step the left foot forward between your hands. Right knee comes down. Extra padding to your right knee if you need it. So if you don't have a towel or blanket, folding the mat right side towards center would double up, giving you more cushioning. Lunge your hips forward into the quad stretch. Press your hands into your thighs. Lean the upper torso back, gently looking up. Be sure that the back of the neck is supported through a more neutral position. Once you're set and you're ready, arms up, Venus Mudra. Remain here or take any additional variations you like, right? So basic Crescent Moon here, supported Crescent Moon with your hands to the top of the thighs. Wrapping hands back behind you for the heart opener. Side bending, left arm to left leg, right arm overhead, side bending to your left. Or right hand to the floor, left arm overhead, side bending to the right. If you have your mermaids, binding, right hand to right foot, left arm forward. So there are many options you can take, right? Left arm could be resting on top of the left knee. Left arm could be reaching up and back. You can take both hands to your right foot. You can take a revolved position, and that is all variation 1 on your mermaid. Variation 2, grabbing the inside of the foot, so you can slip the foot to your elbow crease. Left arm forward, left arm up, or the full bind. Give you 3 more breaths. Gomukhasana. All right, starting to break. Half split, shifting back. So you want to tuck the right toes under, line up the hips with your right knee so you have a vertical line with your right thigh. Flex your left foot for the hamstring stretch. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, fold. All right, step the left foot back down, transitioning through that Crescent Moon to kick the left leg up, three-legged dog. Open up the hips, bend the left knee, and stay here for a breath of 2, allowing the left hip to open to eventually come into pigeon. So now you're creating expansion through the front of the left hip. Extend the left leg, draw the left knee in, land the shin to the floor, into pigeon. So now you're going into compression of the front of the left hip, right? So elongate through the spine, make sure you're nice and level in your hips, and then when you're ready, walk your hands forward. You can stay on your forearms. You can make pillows with the hands around your forehead. You can extend the arms forward, forehead all the way down. All right, so the three-legged dog or the sideward scorpion, right, that is opening of the top hip. And then we drew that leg in, the left leg in, to take compression to the front of the left hip. You may remain here, or if you have variations here, you can take whatever you want. So same as we did, right, previously. So you can lift the torso up for a simple back bend with a hip opener. You can bind, mermaids, binding. Right hand to outside the right foot, kicking back. So again, same thing that we did in several poses already. When you bind hand to foot and you kick the foot away, that tension that you bring into your arms, that bow effect, gives you stability. And then you can reach your left arm forward, up. So that's Mermaid 1. You can take both hands to the foot, right? Just like we did in Crescent Moon. You can go revolved, opposite hand and foot. You can take Mermaid 2, slip that foot to your elbow crease, left arm up, or binding. So Yuan, if you take the left side and angle it further to the left side, release your foot. Yes, that's right. Try again. And keep the left hand on the floor. Kick your foot away from you first. Right? So just keep the left hand on the floor for stability. Get this part first. Kick the foot back and find your stability. You can always walk your hand further back so you can lift up higher. Right? So the hand can always stay on the floor for stability. Once you are stable in the pose, then you can start to work the hand away from the floor. Right? So using your left hand on the floor, or the front hand on the floor, gives you stability so you can work on the bind. And that bind, kicking back, eventually will be stable enough for you to release your other hand. All right? So no need to rush into it. Take your time. Take 2 more breaths here. All right, begin to break. Walk it back in, down dog. Take lots of movement, side to side, by pedaling out your legs. All right, come back to stillness, second side. Right leg up, Crescent Moon. Step the right foot forward between your hands. Left knee comes down. Take extra padding to your left knee if you need it. Then walk your hands to top of the thighs, and then actively lunging your hips forward to get into the quad stretch. Then with your hands on your thighs, Lean the upper torso back and gently looking up, so beginning to go into back bend in a much more stable position. Once you're nice and stable, then arms up, Venus Mudra, arms up and back. So index fingers pointing, interlacing all the other fingers, palms are facing toward each other. All right, once again, once you get a few breaths in, you can make many choices here. Stay here in the full expression of Crescent Moon. Support a Crescent Moon with the hands to your thighs. Side bending, right? Right arm to right leg, left arm overhead. Side bending to the other side, left hand down, right arm overhead. Binding, hand to foot, mermaid. Same hand, same foot to the outside of the foot. Right arm can reach forward, resting to your knee. Right arm can go up. You can take both hands to your foot, kick back, so the hips are still lunging forward, but the torso is leaning back. Revolved position, right hand to your left foot, left arm overhead. Mermaid 2, grabbing the inside of the foot, draw that foot in. Slip that foot to your left elbow crease, right arm forward again, resting to the knee, right arm up, or binding. Right? So many options. You're limited only by your imagination and your physical abilities, right? If something works and it works within alignment and you're not creating any kind of potential injuries, then in vinyasa, we have a lot of freedom, right, to take many different shapes. All right, let's start to break. Tuck the left toes under, shift back for a half split. So you're lining up the hips over your left knee, flexing your right foot, inhale, lengthen, exhale, fold. And step the right foot back down. Kick the right leg up, open up the hips, bend the right knee, and stay here. So sideward scorpion to give you a little bit of openness, expansion through the front of the right hip first before you go into the pigeon for compression. All right, re-extend the right leg. Draw the right knee in, land that shin to the floor, and that is your pigeon. Angle the right thigh, right knee out to the side, 30 to 45 degrees. Inch your left knee further back. Untuck the toes, level out the hips, elongate through the spine. Once you're set, you can make your way forward. You can stay on your forearms. You can make pillows with the hands. You can take the forehead down. You may stay here. If you're taking additional variations, feel free to take whatever you want. Right, so the ones that I took on the first side were just simple lifting of the torso up and leaning back for a back bend as I continue with the hip opening. Right? Mermaid poses, grabbing the outside of the left foot with the left hand. As I kick the foot back, I pulls my hand back, stretching your left arm, going into more bow effect, creating that tension for stability, keeping the right hand on the floor, right? Once I feel nice and stable, then I can start to lift the hand away from the floor, eventually reaching the right arm up. Or both hands binding, kicking back for an even shoulder opener, revolving the position, right hand to left foot, left arm up and back. Mermaid 2, grabbing the inside of the foot, drawing that foot in and slipping the foot through the forearms into the armpit, and then again, reaching right arm forward, up, or binding. Right? So you want, it looks so much more stable, right? Because then you're finally getting good stretch that is productive without you struggling with balance, right? This way you're actually getting stretch, right? And then that's eventually going to take you into the shape you're looking for. All righty, let's start to finish up. Make your way back to the down dog, walking your hands back in. Tuck the left toes under and shift it back and take lots of movement once again. So you can pedal out the legs. You can just bend and extend the legs simultaneously. You can just shift side to side, whatever you want. All right, once you're feeling pretty neutral and you're ready, you walk your feet forward towards your hands, take the feet down. Let's start to recline onto the back. So using your hands to support to either side as you slide your hands out, that will continue to support your upper back. All right, recline twisting. Draw the left knee in, hugging your left knee in. The left arm out to a T, either across or downwards alongside the hips, and then twisting to the right. So you're rolling to the outer right hip, outer right leg, and the left knee does not need to touch the floor right now. Eventually, maybe if you gain the flexibility. More important is your left arm, left shoulder blade, staying flat to the floor to give you support. Begin to square back to center. Switch legs, switch arms. So right knee comes in, right arm out to a T or downwards alongside the hips, and then twisting to your left. Rolling to outer left hip, outer left leg. So again, more important is the right arm, right shoulder blade, staying flat to the floor for support. And take it back to center, hugging both knees in. Once you're feeling pretty neutral on both sides and you're ready, step the feet to the floor, slide the legs forward, Shavasana, find a relaxation. Let the feet separate, toes are gently turning out, arms alongside the body, palms face up. Eyes are closed, lips touching. Let the floor fully support, release fully. Shavasana, find a relaxation. And begin to draw your breath back in, moving your fingers and your toes. Reach the arms overhead, stretching in opposite directions. Rolling over to the right and come up to a comfortable cross-legged, taking the non-dominant shin on top, working the non-dominant hip a little bit more. Even seat, lengthy spine, shoulders broad, breath deep. Let the neck be free. Inhale for Om. Hands together in prayer, bowing forward, sealing in the practice. And I'll come up. Namaste. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here today. And thank you for sharing your practice with me. My name is Stephen Chang, coming to you live from 333 Grand in downtown Jersey City, New Jersey. Please visit my website, simhayoga.com, for the hybrid schedule, which is in person here at 333 Grand, as well as through Zoom. You can register through ubindi.com for class. And if you're watching this on YouTube, classes are $10, and you can pay through Venmo or PayPal. Payment information is on the bottom of the video, and all of this can be found again on my website, simhayoga.com. Thank you again. See you next time.